everybody, I'm InTheLittleWood, also known as Martin. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are playing some more Pokemon Go. The response on the first video was crazy, and I was a little bit of a noob during that video as well, because the game doesn't do the best job of explaining certain elements to you. So on Twitter, I asked you all if you have started playing the game, if you're going to be playing it soon, would you like to see a top 10 tips and tricks video? And everybody said yes. So here is my guide for beginners to Pokemon Go. So the whole point of this game is to capture Pokemon. You want to get as many as you can and as many different ones as you can. So if you're sick of getting your 60th Pidgey of the day, let's start with tracking. And this is really easy to do. So all you do is bring up your nearby Pokemon, and you can see I've got a good majority of these ones just here. And if you select, say, the Bellsprout, for example, you'll notice now that in the bottom right corner, it's tracking the Bellsprout. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is try and look at where any rustling grass is in the immediate area. Now, with it being 3 footsteps away currently for me, that means it's quite some distance away. So it could be as far as over there, but I don't think there's any rustling grass there. Come on. Oh, there is. There's some on that grassland. Let's go to it. So as we get a little bit closer to that grass, you can already see that the Krabby is now down to 2 footprints. I think we're on the right track. So now we're down to 1 footprint, and we're basically there. Although this is covered up at the moment, hopefully I'm going to be close enough. If not, then we can always go for step 2. So I've been studying this square now for a couple of minutes, and not a single Pokemon is coming towards me. So I'm probably going to have to use an item to lure them out of the bushes. Now, usually I would just use something known as an essence. An essence is an item that when you use it for half an hour, Pokemon nearby are attracted towards you. But I'm all out of those, so instead I've got to use something a little bit fancier known as a lure module. So I can place this down on a Pokestop, which luckily is right here, and basically for the next half an hour, Pokemon in the area will swarm towards this, and all trainers are going to benefit from it. So now we move on to step 2, catching a Pokemon. The Pokemon is on the screen, it's rearing for a fight. We're not going to send out a Pokemon and bash its face in, we're just going to throw balls at it instead. So keep an eye on that strobing circle on the inside of the Pokemon. If it's green, it means it's an easy catch. If it's orange, it means it's medium. And of course, if it's red, it's going to be a tough time. So the smaller this strobing circle is, by the time the ball makes connection with the Pokemon, the better chance you're going to have of capturing it. Another little trick as well that they mention on the Pokemon Go support pages is using the spin. So if you spin the ball at the bottom of the screen in a circle and you throw the ball, it's going to have some serious curve to it, but if that actually connects, then you get a curveball bonus, which gives you extra XP and probably raises your chances of capturing a Pokemon. Now we move on to tip number 3, buffing your Pokemon. So start off by ordering your Pokemon by CP, which stands for combat points. This is basically how strong your Pokemon is. Then once you've found one of your many Pidgeys that has the abilities that you like in terms of type and also damage, you want to get rid of the rest. So all you do is click on one, scroll down, hit transfer, and that will get sent off to Professor Willow at the slaughterhouse, and in exchange he's going to give you 1 Pidgey candy. A little side note as well, if you happen to transfer anything higher than a Pidgey, whether it be a Pidgeotto or a Pidgeot, it will still give you the base one, so it will give you Pidgey candy in this case. Step number 4, go to as many Pokestops as possible. You can never have too many items, whether it be Pokeballs, potions, revives, all of them will get put to good use. And all you got to do to activate one is walk over to it, so your Poke Trainer stuff nearby, you click on it, you spin the wheel, it spits out items, good times. The moment that one of these Pokestops throws out an egg, you want to throw it straight into an incubator. Now the eggs can come in a variety of kilometers that you have to travel, whether it be 2, 5 or 10 kilometers, and the further you have to travel, the better, the stronger, the more rare the Pokemon is likely to be. Now we all get an incubator from the get-go. It has an infinite number of uses, but of course you're sometimes going to have 3 eggs on you and you want all of them to be cooking at the same time. Not to worry, you can go into the shop, you can buy more incubators, but do bear in mind that they don't have infinite uses. You can only use them 3 times before they become inactive. And the final little tidbit on this is the fact that you have to walk or cycle in order for this to work. If you're in a vehicle like a car, a train, or a bus, anything like that, that goes more than around about 20 kilometers per hour, it's going to completely ignore that progress. So if you see a gym that's claimed by another team, all you got to do is walk over to it, press on it, and then select a Pokemon that you want to take into battle against that current gym leader. Once the battle begins, just rapidly click on the screen lots of times for your Pokemon to do its regular attack, and then whenever one of those small blue gauges at the top corner fills up, if you press and hold, your special ability will activate. And congratulations, you've won the battle! And in turn, you've also chipped a massive amount of experience off of the gym and potentially dropped it down to 0. Tip number 7, standing your ground. So you've emptied out the other gym leader, and now the place is yours for the picking. You can place 1 Pokemon inside of there, and you want to make sure it's a good one. So of course combat power is an important factor to place in here, but something that might be worth bearing in mind as well is having a look at what Pokemon are generally nearby the area. If you find that you live in an area where there's lots of Zubats or there's lots of bug Pokemon, place a Pokemon in there that's going to be strong against them. So currently I only know of one way to collect those adorable little Pikachu coins that you can see in the shop page, and that's simply by having as many Pokemon as you can sat inside of a gym, and then if you go to the shop page, there's a shield icon in the top right corner, and for the more Pokemon that you have in a gym at that time, when you press the icon, the better the reward will be. And of course you can spend real life money to buy poker coins, to then buy items, but do bear in mind that in the earlier stages of the game, pretty much every single time you level, you'll get a nice collection of goodies ranging from lure modules, to essence, to berries, and loads more. You've got to catch them all, and I'm not saying that just simply because it's the show's motto. I really mean it. Whether it's a duplicate Pokemon, you already have it, why not collect them? Why not transfer them out? Get some candy, you can work up the evolutionary chain, you can flesh out the Pokedex. If you've already got that Pokemon and all of the evolutions that come above it, why not capture that Pokemon simply to get a load more Stardust, which you can use to power up your other Pokemon? And of course, you get all of that sweet, sweet experience to level up your trainer. And probably the most important tip number 10, is be aware. Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of people, be aware of vehicles, be aware of the areas you're walking into. If it's somewhere that you don't particularly like and you think is a bit sketchy, I don't think it's worth that one Jigglypuff. On top of that, be aware of your phone signal, because if that goes midway through a catch, you're going to be really, really salty. So stay in high signal areas. And the final one, remember to bring a battery pack. Be aware of your battery level, because it does drain it quite a bit. So there we go, those are my top 10 tips, or more so a beginner's guide to Pokemon Go. If there's anything that you think I missed, let me know down in the comment section below. Share your wisdom with the rest of the world. Leave a like on the video if you want to see more Pokemon Go content, and I will see you all next time. Ta-ra!